Hello friends, my name is Michelle Fondin and I'm the author of How to Run a Successful Yoga Business and Not Go Broke. Lessons from a yoga teacher, entrepreneur, and modern hippie. And today we're going to talk about yoga teaching essentials, tools for your toolbox. Now your toolbox in this case would be a gym bag or a yoga bag such as this one. And through my years of teaching, I learned that in the very beginning, when you're teaching yoga, you're very much like a traveling performer and you need to have your bag of tricks ready in case you need something inside of that bag. But when you're starting out, you really have no idea exactly what it is that you need. So if you're a new yoga teacher or if you're a new traveling yoga teacher, here are some things to think about to include into your yoga bag of tricks. So the first thing you need in your yoga bag is wipes, mat wipes. Now mat wipes can be quite pricey and quite expensive. What I have done through the years, I've bought really expensive wipes, non-expensive wipes, antibacterial wipes, and what I found works the best are actually baby wipes. They are not cost prohibitive as many wipes are, and this costs probably, there are 72 wipes I think, and it costs about $1.67 for 72 wipes. Now if you're a traveling yoga teacher, you just need these for emergencies. You need them to wipe off your own mat or wipe off mats at the studio or gym where you're teaching if they look really ratty and gross, because honestly, who really wants to practice yoga on a dirty mat? So you can use these. They have a little bit of lotion in them that'll gently wipe off the yoga mat. They're non-sticky and they're non-slippery. So if you wipe off the mat with this, you will not have a sticky or slippery, too sticky mat or too slippery mat after you use them. So use this or some kind of antibacterial wipe. Try to stay away from Clorox wipes because remember, people are going to be putting their faces on the mat in cobra pose, in down dog pose, their face is going to be really close to it, in child's pose. So you don't want to be inhaling that type of bleachy stuff. Now I'll put this in my toolbox. And another thing you really need to think about is hand sanitizer. And this could be for you or this could be for other people. Now, I almost never take a day off of teaching yoga. I think I have never, in the 9 years I've been teaching, I've never canceled a yoga class. Now, for example, today I have a little bit of a cold. It's a little bit of a residual cold. But if I sneeze or if I blow my nose, rest assured I'm going to use the hand sanitizer before I touch a student to adjust them into their yoga pose. I'm not going to touch them after sneezing or wiping my nose. So that's super gross. So keep some hand sanitizer in your yoga toolbox, put that in, and it could be for a student too who just needs to blow their nose and they want to hand sanitize afterwards. I use lotion as well. My hands get super dry. This is a fragrance-free lotion by Burt's Bees. A lot of students are really sensitive to scents, and that's a question I get often is, can I burn candles, incense in my class? I've tried it both ways, and honestly, what I've found that it's better not to have anything scented in the room where you're teaching yoga because there are a certain number of people that get super hypersensitive to scents, and it's just better to err on the side of caution and not do it. Now, some things about your own personal hygiene. So bring with you in your toolbox a toothbrush and toothpaste or a little mini mouthwash or breath mints. Really important. Another thing is bringing a bag of cough drops because you talk a lot when you're teaching yoga, and it's happened to me where my throat got super dry and I just had this coughing spell, or I couldn't speak properly because I knew I was gonna cough and we were meditating. And so if you can just pop in a breath mint or a cough drop, it can help you to not cough or create noise, more noise than necessary in your yoga and or a meditation class. So putting that into your bag. Another thing is if you wear contacts, this is all based on real life experience. So this actually happened to me where I rubbed one of my eyes, my contact popped out, and I can't see with only one contact. And so I had to conduct the rest of the class not really seeing anything because I didn't have my lens case and I didn't have any solution on me. So make sure that if you wear contacts, you have a contact case and solution so that you can put students into a child's pose, run to the bathroom, and put in your spare pair of contacts, or at least one contact if that's what you need. If you're a lady, I'm only speaking to the ladies here, bring sanitary pads and tampons if you need it, because this has happened to me where my period started right in the middle of class, and if you're in the middle of class and if your period starts, hello, a little bit embarrassing, especially as you go through the yoga poses. It's like, yeah, excuse me, I need to run to the restroom. Bring a Kleenex box, especially if you're teaching in remote places. For example, I teach at a rehab center, and there aren't always Kleenex boxes available, and there aren't always mat wipes available. We had an issue where the mats weren't being wiped down and they had some sort of disinfectant spray. So one time I brought the baby wipes so they could wipe down the mats. But the same thing, if you're practicing yoga breathing, pranayama, such as Nadi Shodhana, where you have to close off one nostril and your nostrils are full, or your students' nostrils are full, it's really important that you have some Kleenex on hand, especially if you're not in a place that would normally carry Kleenex, such as a conference room in an office where you might teach yoga, where they might have dry eraser markers and a whiteboard, but they might not have Kleenex handy. And you don't want people running off to the bathroom in the middle of your class just to get a tissue. So putting that into your bag too. For your private clients and for demonstration purposes, always carry around with you 2 yoga blocks, a yoga strap, and a yoga blanket. Now you might be thinking, but I don't really practice yoga with yoga props. It's not the way I learned, and so therefore I don't really practice yoga with any of these props. That might be true. However, if you get a private client that's not really flexible or who has had a recent injury, it's really important that you assist them to get into the poses. Otherwise, you're going to be really, really limited in what you do with those clients. So I always carry around a couple yoga blocks, a yoga strap, and a yoga blanket each and every time. And believe me, more often than not, I've used them, especially in my private classes. And I've also used them to demonstrate if I've been teaching at a gym and the materials there, the equipment and all that is really dirty and disgusting, and I'm not gonna touch it myself. The clients might have to touch it, but I'm not touching it. And believe me, that's happened where I've subbed at a gym where they had a yoga studio, but the gym was not very rigorous about cleaning the equipment, the yoga blocks, and yoga straps. So it's really important that you carry your own in those instances if you need it. The next thing let's talk about is music. This is a portable speaker, and you can use it through Bluetooth with your smartphone, or you can plug it in. It does come with a little plug if Bluetooth doesn't work. Believe me, it just depends. If you're in a federal building where Wi-Fi really doesn't work, if you're in a different space where the Bluetooth just doesn't connect, you're gonna need that plug to plug in your smartphone to get your music. Now this is a fairly loud speaker so that if you do connect it, it can be heard in a really large room. But what I use simply most of the time is I just use an iPad, because the iPad volume actually is pretty loud, and with the exception of in a gym where the sound resonates or it kind of bounces off the walls and it doesn't have good sound, that's the only instance in which the iPad doesn't seem to work very well, in which you would need a speaker. Now I carry around some spiritual literature. This is the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, which I read from in my yoga classes. Make sure you carry a little bit of spiritual literature if you plan on reading something before or after class or during Shavasana. I use this little chime here just to chime when it's done, when either class is done, meditation is done, or it's time to come out of Shavasana. I bought this probably for about $18, and I bought this back in 2008 when I started teaching, and it's still good. See? And the brand is called Woodstock Chimes Zenergy Meditation Chime. There you go. For your personal hygiene, make sure you bring extra deodorant just in case you get a little smelly in between your classes. Always bring water. Stay hydrated, guys. it's really easy to get dehydrated, so bring your own water. Now these are just little nitty-gritty things. Hair ties, barrettes. This could be for you if you have long hair, just keep this in your yoga bag. Or for your clients, you wouldn't know how many times I've had clients with long hair trying to do certain poses and their hair is flopping around and they've asked me, do you have an extra hair tie? So I've been able to give them the extra hair tie because sometimes they forget. Safety pins are always a good idea in case you get a rip in your yoga clothes. That being said, always bring an extra set of yoga clothes in your yoga bag and just keep it in there. An extra set of underwear, pants, and shirt. You never know when something is going to go wrong. You could spill something on yourself. Again, your yoga pants could rip or some other mishap could happen. Now remember, you are a business person and you want to conduct your yoga classes like a business. So the first thing is, don't have notes everywhere about your class and the yoga poses that you're gonna do, especially if you're a new teacher. Use a simple 4x6 note card. It's really easy to keep this concealed underneath your mat. You could write small notes on it and no one will even know it's there. If you forget your sequence, you can just go back, flip up your yoga mat and just kind of take a look just to remind yourself. But again, it's very discreet. It's not like having thousands of books out and papers everywhere, which I've seen, believe me. And you don't want that because it really, really looks unprofessional. But a simple note card is just fine. Second of all, you want to advertise about your classes. If a student comes up to you and says, hey, do you teach private classes or do you teach at other gyms or do you teach at other studios? You want to be able to give them your information. So really have a business card handy and accessible so that you can promote yourself because it's really important that you promote yourself as a yoga teacher. So thank you so much for joining me. If you don't think this is going to fit in my bag, everything will absolutely fit here. So let's just see this really quick. This is a small gym bag here. It's very handy though. There's a lot of different things in here. So let's just shove everything in here. Let's see if it all fits in because it does seem like a lot of stuff, doesn't it? So we got the iPad, we've got the speaker, we've got my book, my inspirational book, we've got the yoga strap, we've got the 2 blocks, 1 block, we've got the blanket, and I think the only thing that's not going to fit in here is the other yoga block, but that's just because I shoved everything in here. So as you can see, minus 1 block, everything fits in my yoga bag, and that's not making things neat. So there you go. This is your yoga teacher toolbox. And you're raring to go and transform lives. Thank you so much for joining me. Please subscribe to my channel below. Share this video with other yoga teachers, family, friends, and your yoga dog. Please subscribe to Patreon, patreon.com/Michelle S. Fondin. You can contribute to these videos and the production of these videos, and I will see you in the next video.